Yo! If you've been watching this channel for a while, you absolutely know that I am a huge horror fanatic. I am a whore for horror. I love this genre more than anything. I even went and wrote a book, and I'm writing a sequel to that book right now, but that's not what this video is about. This video is about, well, video games that you should play during the Halloween season. I would just call this top 10 horror video games in general, but since it's October, I think calling it top 10 or whatever video games you should play during October or Halloween season would go by better whenever it comes to the views and stuff, because whenever you just put horror, there aren't very many people that will click on that. But if you click on, well, if you write just a whole month or season or holiday, then more people will click on it, and therefore I will get more views and maybe a few more subscribers. But yeah, I have been doing a lot of horror stuff recently, so you probably think that this channel is only horror stuff. I mean, kind of, it kind of is. I just talk about games in general and horror as a genre and anime, a lot of anime stuff. I don't know. It's just whatever I want to talk about, and today I want to talk about, well, like I said, 10 video games that you should play during Halloween season. So yeah, let's jump right into it with number 10. I did a whole video talking about video games that deserve a remaster, a port, or literally anything, and Splatterhouse was one of them that I put fairly high on the list. I absolutely love Splatterhouse. This was part of my childhood, like a huge part. I played it like twice. I'm planning on, I still have my PlayStation 3, I'm planning on buying a copy of this from Game Exchange or something like that, somewhere cheap, and just, you know, doing a full-on video over it. But as of right now, I'll just go ahead and say that this is a really good game. You play as a nerd that gets a hockey mask after your girlfriend is kidnapped by an evil scientist occult person, and then it brings you back as a weird, giant, hulking mass of a Jason Voorhees clone. And that's basically it, and the mask talks to you and everything. This is just a really good game from the PlayStation 3 that I think everyone should play at least once, just to, I don't know, just to have a good little time. It's really fun. I'm planning on doing a full video on it, like I said, and I might even do a little bit of research for the video and do a full-on essay about Splatterhouse, its making, and the other games that are in this franchise. But yeah, this is a very good game. Definitely try it out if you're into the more action-oriented, horror-esque games, where it's definitely not a full-on horror game, but you are ripping and tearing your way through masses of monsters and just enemies in general. It's a really fun game, though. Number 9 is Little Nightmares. We're going straight from something that is rip and tear into something that is hide and fear. Basically, this game is a lot of platforming, I guess is what it would be called. I don't think this is a platformer. Not from what I know. I'm not a huge, genius whenever it comes to the names of the different, types of video games, but I'm pretty sure this would be under platformer, hide-and-seeker type of game. There's a lot of parts where you just run into a place, you hide for a little bit, and then you run and hide whenever needed. It's just a really good game. I think the, art style is definitely what got me to stay with it. It wasn't the actual gameplay. It's just a very beautiful game in its own weird, macabre way. It's very creepy, very cool. A lot of amazing creature designs. Just really cool. And I think the design for the main character, I don't think they ever speak. I can't really remember in the first game. I don't think they speak in any of them. But, the design for it is very, eye-catching, especially whenever it comes to the horror genre, because, like, the raincoat with the little flashlight and everything, it's very, I don't know, it just seems like a horror protagonist, to be honest, is what I'm trying to say. But yeah, this game is absolutely awesome. Number 8 on this list is actually one that I wouldn't say is purely horror or anything. It's very hack and slash, it's very horror comedy-esque, I'd say. It's definitely more comedy than horror. This is Lollipop Chainsaw. It's made by the same, developers that made No More Heroes, all of those games, I think, every single one of them, I'm pretty sure. But I absolutely love those games, and I didn't even know it was them whenever I played this on PlayStation 3, but, yeah, you can tell. Whenever I heard that it was the same developer, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. But yeah, it's basically just you play as the main character, and her boyfriend is a head that talks to you. It's really cool. Some of the bosses are really cool. They're all zombies and stuff. It's really, really cool. You use a chainsaw. Come on. You're a cheerleader with a chainsaw and your boyfriend's head that talks to you. That's sick. Come on. The Evil with what? The Evil Within is a very good game. This is very Silent Hill-esque, I'd say. This first one is definitely Silent Hill-esque. It's really good. I can't really remember all of it, but I remember the bathtubs that you used to go through the different levels and everything. It's very, very weird. I remember the second one a lot more than this one, and spoilers for the list, but the second one is way higher up. But I still think this is a very good horror experience, especially whenever it comes to the actual creep factor. This game has a lot of, like, genuinely unnerving and just heart-pounding moments. It's very, very good whenever it comes to making your heart speed up a little bit, especially in the very beginning. I'm fairly certain it's the very beginning whenever the safe head guy chases you. I'm pretty sure that, I cannot remember when that is, but there's a little chase sequence with the safe head guy, and he chases you through this weird, farm-looking place. I can't remember what it is, but yeah, I played this really young. I don't know, man. I can't remember all of it, but I do remember a good bit of it, and I think that this might be one of my favorite horror games in general. Maybe, just from what I remember, but yeah, this is a really good game. I simply cannot escape this game. Every single list I've made, especially, I made the video games that deserve a port, and then I made movies movies or series they should let me write, and then I made video games that deserve movies or series, and in every single one of them, Manhunt has made it. Manhunt is an excellent game. I do not know if it would be made nowadays, just with how brutal it is. A lot of people say that it wouldn't be made nowadays just because of how brutal it is. I don't believe that, honestly. I think it would be made pretty easily. It's not that over the top. Like, I don't know if I'm just desensitized to literally everything because I've grown up with horror and everything like that. But I mean, I don't know. I just don't think it goes as over the top as everyone thinks it does. It's just a really good game with a really cool concept, and it's got a really cool, like, camera setup and everything. The takedowns are really cool. I don't know. This is just a really fun game that I think everyone should play at least once, at least a little bit of it. And Manhunt 2, oh my god, that's also another game that's absolutely peak, but I don't think it's as good as Manhunt 1, just because, well, Manhunt 2, this isn't really even spoilers for it. It's nothing like Manhunt 1. It's really, I don't know, I might do a full-on rundown of Manhunt and Manhunt 2 and just talking about all of the lore and everything, because I do love these two games. But yeah, Manhunt, please play it if you can. Okay, next up we got Outlast. This is one of the creepiest games I've ever played. I don't know if it's just the weird setting of the asylum, or if it's the perfect lighting, or the really cool, music that they have, or the creature designs. I don't know what it is, but Outlast is one of the coolest horror games ever. I have not played Outlast 2. I have been wanting to get Outlast Trials for, well, since it came out, but I have not yet. But I think this one is absolutely amazing. If you play any of them in the series, I think you should play Outlast, but that might just be because this is the only one I've played, like I said. But yeah, this is such a good game. It's so unnerving and creepy, and the monster designs are so cool. I know I bring it up in like every video that I talk about horror, but I love creature designs, and some of these are just super, super creepy and super cool. They're like humanoid. I don't know, man. I might just do a rundown of my favorite. I actually did my top 10 video game creature designs already, but I might do a part 2 just because I want to talk about some more creature designs with y'all. But yeah, this absolutely amazing game. Definitely try it out. It's got the perfect, like, ambiance with the actual setting of the game and everything. It's just so cool. The number 4 spot goes to Agony. This, yeah, go and check out the game review I made for it to make sure you'll actually like it. This game was not very liked whenever it came out. I absolutely love it. I've played it like 3 times now. This is just a really fun game, to me at least. If you don't like the horror games that feel like a walking simulator type of thing, then you probably will not like this. There isn't really a lot other than mazes and stuff. You get one boss fight with Baphomet. It's a really fun boss fight. I actually put it up on the channel if you want to watch me do it. It's literally just the gameplay for me doing it. But I love this game, but I don't know if everyone else will. There's actually a sequel to this, or it's set in the same universe, and it's called Succubus. I made a review over that too, if you want to check it out. They're both in the playlist that's just video game reviews. I think it's called Game Reviews or whatever. I did a review over this. Please go watch that before you buy this, because I don't know if you guys would like it. But yeah, definitely check out that review if you want to hear more about it, or if you just want to hear me spout just non-stop about it, because this is one game that I absolutely adore, and I wish more people would like it. But if you want to check it out, please do, and go ahead and comment what you think about it once you're done with it if you want to. But yeah, this is where the list starts getting into an actual, like, formatted list. Everything below was, like, just games that I love and didn't really know where to put them. Up here is getting into the games that you should absolutely play, like, in this order. Number 1 is absolutely one that you need to play if you haven't. But yeah, let's just keep going in the list. At number 3, we got Alan Wake. Alan Wake is one of my favorite horror games ever. This is so fun. I adore this game. I've played it twice now. Or 1.5 times. Never finished it that last time I did it. I might stream this, actually, later, just because I think it's a really, really good game, and I might stream it before I do a game review over it. I've been doing game reviews over really old games, actually. Maybe I need to review a newer game instead of an old one that people will actually care about. But Alan Wake, very good game. I think the combat system with you having to shine the flashlight on them to make them physical is really cool, and I think the story overall is amazing, and I think their homages to the Twilight Zone is very, very entertaining. I love watching them, just sitting there and watching them while they play on the TV. Very, very fun game. If you haven't played it, definitely play it. I'm not going to spoil the story or anything here. Just go and play it with just what I've told you in mind, and hopefully you won't get spoiled. And I have not played Alan Wake 2. Yeah, comment if you like that game. I've heard a lot of good things, and I've heard some bad things, but I know for a fact Alan Wake 2 is going to be awesome, just because Alan Wake 1 is, like I said, one of my favorite horror games ever. But yeah, I'm gonna not spoil anything about this game so that you go in blind. So let's go on to the next one. Number 2 spot goes to The Evil Within 2. Like I said, I remember a lot more of this game than I do the other one. This game is awesome. You're in the mind of a serial killer. It's this weird... I don't even know how to explain it, honestly. Man, I don't remember very much about this one story either. Love the gameplay, though. And the camera head dude from it is really cool. He's the serial killer, or the... like the embodiment of the serial killer. It's weird. This is a weird series. It's very psychological horror. But yeah, like I said, it's like Silent Hill. It's very good, though. Definitely go and check this game out. I know I'm, like, not giving a lot about this game, but I honestly... Man, I need to replay these games. I might stream these games too. I'm getting a lot of games that I need to stream now. But yeah, this is an amazing game. The camera head guy actually made it pretty high up on my top 10 creature designs from video games list that I made. Go and watch that video if you want to. But yeah, this is a really good game. The number 1 spot goes to a game that I have not played in years. I played it like 3 times in the first, like, year that I had it. It is one of the greatest games, the greatest horror games at least ever, like, period. It's one of my favorite, it is my favorite horror game. Like, if you ask me what my favorite horror game was, it would probably be this. And if you come out of this list wanting to play any of them, I would say this one is the one you need to play. This is Resident Evil Biohazard, or Resident Evil 7. This is one of the best Resident Evil games in my humble opinion, and we all know my opinion is the right opinion. Now, this is the very first Resident Evil game that takes a first-person point of view, and this is a very, well, it's very unlike the Resident Evils that had been coming out up until this point. It's not, you just shoot a whole bunch of zombies or anything like that. This is a full-on horror game. It starts out with you getting a note or message or whatever from your wife, and she says she's up in Florida for some weird reason, even though only the worst of the worst live in Florida. So we go up there to try and find her, and it's this old rundown hillbilly shack, and we decide to go ahead and go up on in there. And then we slowly figure out that there's an entire family of hillbillies that live there. They weren't always evil, murderous creatures. They were actually a really nice family at one point before the Ouroboros virus got them, and that's basically it. You have to fight all of them. The dad is by far the scariest one. Each boss actually takes on a different type of horror genre, basically. The dad is a very slasher-esque one. The brother is or the son is a kind of a, man, I don't know. It's like psychological horror, I guess, because he's a freaking weirdo that likes to torture you psychologically. And then the mother is more body horror type-esque, I guess, because she's like a weird bug thing. Very, very cool ways that they use the actual enemies and everything in this. Obviously, the father, whenever you fight him, is an unkillable machine. Therefore, he is a slasher. Like, he's literally just basically hillbilly Jason Voorhees in his own home, busting through walls, grabbing you, having chainsaw fights and everything else. It's really cool. It's a really fun game. It's actually horrifying. I think the only time that it honestly like fell off for me and wasn't as scary is whenever it started doing the more, well, Resident Evil type of stuff, like throwing fungus people at you and you having to shoot them and everything. I thought that actually took away from the horror of this game, but I think everything that was just you looking around, solving puzzles to get out of the house, trying to figure out what's going on and everything, I thought all of that was done expertly, and the only time that I wasn't scared was whenever I was doing regular Resident Evil stuff where I was just fighting fungus people, which, I mean, it was still fun, but it seemed like it belonged in a different game, I guess. But yeah, I'm not doing a full-on review for this, so I might as well just leave you with this. If you play any of these games, check out this one. Like, even if you're only gonna check out one, you need to check this one out. This is my favorite horror game of all time, basically, and is just so fun. And I jumped so many times playing this game. It is genuinely a horrifying game, but yeah, I don't know, check out all of them if you want to. Check out this one if you're only going to check out one. And why don't you go ahead and comment your favorite horror game, because I always need more horror games to play. I don't know, just check out some of these. And, I don't know, have a good spooky season. See ya.